Hello viewers, thank you for watching my YouTube channel Ravi's Eye View. Today we are going to talk about yet another exciting news about Indian aviation industry and some related leadership traits what we are witnessing in this country. To begin with, there were a couple of newses which made headlines recently. One of them happens to be after prolonged loss-making operations, Indigo Airlines seems to have made some profits in the last quarter results what they published. And second thing is none other than the king of Indian skies, Maharaja, the Air India has returned to the Tatas finally. I mean, that's going to make a lot of changes in the aviation industry and it's going to be all interesting. So whenever we talk about airlines in the country, Air India is something which is pretty close to our heart, and most of us, those who were flying in the good old days in the Indian skies, or if you're taking a flight out of India to any other country, you will remember that Air India is a best option we always used to enjoy. And I think return of Air India to Tata Group, it's a very welcome news. There are 2-3 reasons why I'm insisting that. Neither I'm directly or indirectly promoting Tata as a brand. The best thing about Tata is that Tata associates itself very well with a consumer-centric approach, and their responses, whichever industry they chosen to be in, be it automobiles, be it hotel industry, or be it in retail industry. And I have personally experienced many times. I still remember that it was about 11 years ago or 12 years ago that I have to buy an Xbox to my kid, and on the day of purchase when the Xbox did not work, and typically Chroma is where I picked up the stock. Typically what happens is that it's the manufacturer who stands the warranty for the product, but understanding the kid sentiments, which I was eagerly waiting to open the experience, which always makes me feel that we are dealing with a very sensible customer-centric brand in this country. And be it the hospitality industry that across the country or across the globe, wherever Taj has a property, I think you will find that hospitality is one thing which is very good and extremely good. And we all heard about the story that during the November 2008 attack of the terrorist, which has happened there in Bombay, most of the employees from the Taj hotel, they did not leave, rather they were staying back, and they didn't run away. They were helping their customers to to stay safe and feeding them, etc. I mean, we all know the story, which has become kind of a study in many of the management institutes. Now, for some reason, the kind of grooming what Tata does for the leaders, or the kind of training what every employee of Tata's undergoes, seems to be is one of great experiences. You take their automobile industry, you take their retail industry, or you take their the flagship Tata Consultancy Services, which is one of the most respected IT brands in the globe. I think they're ranking in the top 5, to be honest, and the TCS still remains to be the single largest private sector employee in this country. While I'm talking about Air India, I just cannot stop smiling, because it brings smiles to my face that it's finally back to Tata's. But I am very fond of talking about an Indian leader who remained to be my all-time favorite, and I had a great opportunity to meet him once, which was about a decade and a half ago, when I used to work for Xerox Corporation, and I was heading the global services business for India. Now, none other than Chandrasekaran, the Tata Group chairman, I'm going to talk about him today. When we are talking about leadership traits and the most successful leaders, there are dime a dozen books were written about many of them across the globe. If you look at the most successful global enterprises and how their leaders turn it around, be it the entrepreneur-driven kind of an organization, examples of Microsoft and Apple and Bill Gates and Steve, the one of the most admired investor, Warren Buffett, the list is endless. I mean, there are very many authors who have written books on many people, what do the leaders do, and what do they practice, and what is it which we got to learn from them. And you can see five dysfunctional team to good to great kind of books, and in the entire crowded learning curve one undergoes in terms of reading all these books, in terms of learning about the leadership and their traits, and what is good about them, and how did they succeed, etc., etc. We also have a book called 5am Club. Many of us would have read the book called 5am Club, and I'm a big fan of 5am Club, not because it's well written, it is because it's well practiced. And many of us, those who are from very simple and humble background, and specifically upbringing matters quite a bit, you'll find that waking up early in the morning actually gives you a lot of a time for you to do most of your course, and you can plan your day very, very well. And I'm a big fan of 5am Club for that account, and I myself am an early riser. What is very interesting is that when this Air India news got flashed all over the media, for some reason that I have the contact number of Mr. Chandrasekaran, or people fondly call him Chandra. Those who are very close to him call him Chandra. I had his number, then I couldn't resist but typing out a message and sending him a WhatsApp message at about 11 p.m. in the night, congratulating him for the return of Air India to his Tata's foray. Interestingly, what triggered my intention of talking about Chandra to all of you today is at 4:52 a.m. the next day, I got a response from him thanking and sending a thank you message from my message, which is something the person who is so busy, and he was in middle of taking over, and I believe that it was a Thursday, and he was taking over, and he was meeting the Prime Minister Modi, and he was in Delhi, and I'm sure that his schedule must have been very, very packed. I'm a very ordinary citizen, and I got nothing to do with his corporate level of equation. And interestingly, a gentleman like Chandra, it shows how humble he is. He receives a message at 10:52 p.m. from me, and next day morning at 4:52 p.m. he responds to it by sending a thank you note. There is a lot to learn about Chandra, more and more. An aspiring engineering graduate, along with a master's in computer application from Coimbatore, and he passed out from REC Tiruchirappalli. When Chandra started his career, it was way back in 1987, and he joins Tata Consultancy Services. And if you look at his growth, I mean, this is something which is something which I'm very proud to share with all of you. Very meticulously, he was groomed, and very meticulously he has planned his career in Tata Consultancy Services. Under his leadership, many of us will remember that Tata Consultancy Services has become the most valued company in this country. It went up to $70 billion in early 2016. And similarly, that jokingly in the corridors of the media in Mumbai, in 2008, when Ramadure was stepping down, that the TCS used to stand for take Chandra seriously. Honestly speaking, that under his stewardship, TCS has seen the best of the days, and today, if it is valued as the most respected IT company in the globe, thanks to his leadership and the guidance and the roadmap, what he has set for TCS. Chandra has got loads of fan following across the globe, and I don't have to mention about that, how many people really admire him, the kind of a growth what he personally achieved, and the kind of a respect what he brought in for Tata as a group. And TCS still remains to be one of the most valued chip in this country and across the globe. There are very many details are available if one can Google and browse about him, but the few will know that Chandra is also very, very passionate photographer, right? And Chandra, one of these days, I really wanted to see your pictures getting displayed on an exhibition anywhere on the earth, and I'll be the first one to stand in the queue to come and watch it. Secondly, that he is a marathon runner himself. His personal best has happened from New York City when TCS has conducted a marathon, and he has participated in the places across the globe. He has participated in many of the marathon, including Mumbai. and many accolades to Chandra. He remained to be a NASSCOM head for some time, and he continues to be the executive body council member even today for NASSCOM, and he is the driving factor and the poster boy or the iconic figure for Indian IT industry. There are absolutely no doubt about that. A piece of advice to those aspiring youngsters is that Chandra is an exemplary example for many youngsters or many aspiring professionals. A dedication, the kind of adaptability what Chandra has demonstrated from where he joined and where he went on to grow is a lesson to be learned from many of the aspiring younger professionals. And his humbleness, his human touch, I can go on and on, in a very small YouTube video, and there is certain limitation that I can't keep blabbering about him. But before I sign off, I think only one thing which I wanted to sign up by a note saying that Chandra, thank you so much for remaining to be one of the greatest inspiring leaders from this subcontinent, and you remain to be the guiding factor for many youngsters, but not only in IT industry. There are lot of youngsters those are following you, especially that this message is very clear for those of us who actually passed out from vernacular medium schools, be it Hindi medium or Telugu medium or Tamil medium. It does not matter. You don't have to study from a fancy convent school, or you don't need to get one of the finest of education from many of those titles which matters for many parents today in the country. If I tell you a fact that Chandra and his brothers used to walk 3 kilometers to attend a Tamil medium school in some remote part of Tamil Nadu, which is a fact. And later on he undergraduated from REC, which is currently REC Tiruchirappalli. Then he went on to become a master's in computer application from Coimbatore Institute of Technology. Vernacular medium or English medium, you name the institute or you don't name the institute, you actually don't need a brand of a educational institute to actually help you to grow. An exemplary example is Chandra. Chandra, thank you so much. Thank you for watching my YouTube video. Wait for more. In case if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, like them, and do share with your friends. Thank you so much.